Hey everyone, welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Subdivision in HO scale. My name is Daryl Kruse, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 18 of season 2022. And first of all, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there, all of you who are mothers. Probably not too many are watching this video. I think my videos are about 99.9% males, but if there are any out there, any mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. This video features some work I've been doing this week, mainly installing a bunch of turnouts for the staging yard. And this is going to be some turnouts on the, let's see, on the west end. I'll take that back, on the east end of the staging yard, heading into the helix. So I wanted to get those done before I start working on the helix. So we're going to take a look at that and a couple other things, and we'll see how things turned out this week. First of all, just a quick overview of the layout. You can see I have all the locomotives ready to go. I have a couple there that we're going to run, actually just one train, but a couple locomotives there with some new scale sound system speakers. And these two locomotives here, I have a couple of Intermountain Tier 4 locomotives that I bought without sound, and I've converted them to sound with some high-end speakers. All right, so here we have Morgan that we just took a look at there, and then going down towards the Weber River Valley. That'll be the Taggart Tunnels. And the Weber River will pass through or under the main line twice in this area. Then we have what's going to be Interstate 84 and Devil's Slide. And then we have the Devil's Slide control point here, and then down across the Weber River once again. And then somewhat of an industrial area. This will be Wholesome Cement, where there'll be a lot of switching going on. And as you can see, there is somebody working on the main line. Going to have to make us do a run around while we run some trains as they work on the main line. That's Echo right there, and then now we transition into the Echo Canyon and the road that travels alongside, and then we get to another control point here and into some Castle Rock area. Only place I have some scenery done, or partially done I should say. Still a lot of work to do on it. I've been working on this since August of last year. I hope all of you regular viewers don't mind me just doing a quick overview every time, but I think as I get new viewers, they always kind of want to see what's the whole layout is about. So I'm trying to start each video with just a quick overview so people can kind of see where we've been over the last 9 months, and then what we're looking towards doing in the months to come. This is the peninsula, and coming up to the Wasatch Summit. That's the Wasatch Grade coming up to the Wasatch Control Point. A couple more crossovers and signals. This will be the UTLX tank repair facility. There'll be a small yard there and some industrial spurs. That'll take some switching, and then we're coming to what is now the end of the main line. This is on the outskirts of Evanston. So you can kind of see where we are at this point. So from here we are going to go into Evanston. So this will be the Evanston Yard. All the way, the yard's going to come all the way up to here. This will be the throat right here, and then it's going to continue, and it's going to actually curve around here above the staging yard, and we'll go into the other room right between the furnace and the stair frame there. I think there's enough room. Hopefully there will be. And this is what I've been working on, doing all these turnouts. So I'll share a little bit about that with everyone. What the construction's like to get all these turnouts done. These are 10 fast track turnouts. It's good to get both ends of the staging yard done. I can kind of get an exact idea of how long each one is. Here's the construction, some of the construction steps. First thing, of course, is to put the tie templates together, put the ties, glue the ties to the templates, and then position all the fast tracks turnouts. You see they're not in place right there, but that gives me an idea where to glue down the ties. They basically are just paper templates that you can get from fast tracks, and the ties are glued down onto there and cut to match the template, and then they're glued under the fast tracks turnouts that I built while I was waiting for the house to get completed. I still have a bunch to do over there at this point. Got kind of messy on the tabletop as I was working on this. All right, here we have all of the turnouts in place, and you can see all the tracks are connected. And I have the the turnouts spiked down at various locations on the PC ties so that they are stationary. You can see I'm actually also working on the turnout motors. You can see I got one turnout lever sticking up. I have to use a cutoff disc to cut that off so that it won't obstruct. Here you can see the turnout motor is going in. I have just a few of them done at this point. Definitely was good to get both ends done. The longest staging tracks are, of course, the 4 in the middle that extend a little bit further, and then the ones on the right are, the right 4 are longer than the left 4 because of the way the curves are in the staging yard. And here at this point I have all the turnout motors installed, and I'm kind of wiring things up. And I'm really good at wiring. I know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm not that neat. But you can kind of see a little bit of organization here. You see the 4 main ones. That's for the track bus. This is the turnout stationary decoders. It's Team Digital. You might want to look up Team Digital. They have a website, and they have a really cool stationary decoder system. From this one card, you can have up to 16 turnouts. So you use cables to run to 4 different locations. So you can run the turnouts. You have this one card in one position, and then you use these ribbons to go out to all the different places where you want to hook up the turnouts. So you had the 4 main red ones were for the track bus. Here's, by the way, where the helix is going to go next week. So all this is going to be cleared out, and I'm going to construct a helix. I have it on the schedule to do it in 1 week. That may be overly optimistic, but I'll try and get as much done as I can. But that's what we're going to be looking forward to next week. I am also wanting to get this shelves moved, and I want to get this end scale Mississippi River Bridge kind of put together a little bit. I want to be able to walk on both sides of this pole, and the shelves are kind of in the way there, so we're going to move those out. All right, now I also have been switching out and working on some new speakers. I had 2 Intermountain Tier 4 locomotives that I bought without sound, and I heard about these sound scale system speakers that have these baffle boxes that are built into them. So I thought I'd try them out. And here you can see I have one of the shells off of the Tier 4 locomotive. And the nice thing about Intermountain is that they do have a DCC decoder. It's a Lock Pilot by ESU. So you can see the 2 that I've taken out there. And then this is the Soundtrack Tsunami 2 decoder that works for this locomotive. And you see I have it in place. It's really easy to just swap them out. And then the only thing to do after that is to solder wires from the speaker to the card. Now you can see that the speaker is actually the small metal part, and the rest of that black box is the baffle box that makes for some really cool sounds. Now this is a couple of Atherns that I also switched out, and I basically just took off the original speaker and then put in the new speaker. So here's how they sound. This is the stock speakers, and this is the scale sound speakers. A more deeper tone. Here's the horn, idle with the horn. And this is scale sounds. So everything just has a deeper tone to it, which is more realistic. So that worked out pretty good. Now this is for the SD75 Max. That's the original sound. And this is the scale sound system speakers. And to be honest with you, this is the original. That's the scale sound. And there really is not a big difference. That's the stock. And that's the scale sound. So you have to take a look at each speaker. If the speaker, they have pictures of them all. So go to their website, Scale Sound Systems. Go to their website and look at the pictures. If the speaker has a fairly large baffle box, then it's worthwhile getting it, the speaker. If it's a smaller baffle box, it's just not going to be that much different. So I think it's worth the $17 for the GEVOs, the one GEVO that I converted. Was definitely worth it for the Intermountain. The Intermountain sounds the best with a large baffle box. You can hear them going by. Definitely have a nice, rich, deep sound to them. So the Intermountain sounded the best. I would definitely recommend those speakers for their Tier 4. For the Athearn, the GEVOs, I think it's worth the $17 to switch them out. For the SD70s and SD75 Max, I would not spend the money to do those. So I may eventually down the line do some switching of speakers. Probably will put that aside for now, as I've got lots of other things to work on. But it's cool to get the Intermountains with some sound. Those were the only locomotives I had without any sound. This train that you're looking at comes out of the staging yard that has the longest staging yard track. So this represents the longest train that can fit in the staging yard. And it comes out to, here's the mid-train helper, came out to over 2,800 scale feet long. I think it's like 32 cars and 3 locomotives. So it's a really long train. It's about as long of a train that I think I'm going to have. I may at some point in time while I'm having operations, I may try to do some longer trains. I may have some trains spread out over 2 staging yard tracks and maybe connect them up as they leave the staging yard. I think the prototype kind of does that, where we'll take 2 trains and latch them up for 1 train. So I'm thinking I might have maybe at least 1 train during the op session that goes over the 32 feet or 2,800 scale feet long. Maybe get some 50, 60 car trains. At least one every op session. But this is one that will fit completely in the staging yard. So this train's headed up by the 2 Intermountains that have the scale sound speakers, and then this is the Gevo, Athearn Gevo, that has the scale sound speaker. It definitely does sound. They do sound good. This train is a mixture of all kinds of different rolling stock. Something you see more and more these days. But I'm still going to have a lot of unit trains. I'll have an auto rack train and a crude oil tanker train and coal trains, double stack trains. I'm trying to have the era around 2015, which is right before they start doing all the different kinds of railroading. Now you notice it had to do a runaround for that track maintenance. So they did do a crossover at 2 different control points. Here it comes through some scenic area, through the Castle Rock area. Here we're coming up on Curvo. This helix I'm building is going to be kind of special. It's going to have a special feature that is related to this crossover here. And I'll give you a hint. If I'm going to do continuous running on a double track mainline, if the mainline crosses over once, how does that affect the continuous running? So you may want to think about that and think what might be included in the helix that's related to Curvo. All right, from Curvo, then it goes through some tunnels, comes around the peninsula. As you listen to the deeper sounds of the scale sound system speakers. I got a really good deal on these Intermountains from Lombard Hobbies. And I think with the cost of the decoder I had to buy, minus the money I'm going to get from selling the Lock Pilot decoders, I think I'm going to be getting an even better deal for a sound locomotive representing a really highly detailed Tier 4 Gevo. Here it comes up the Wasatch grade, coming into the Wasatch Summit. I haven't really figured out the notching on these Gevos. With the EMD SD70s and SD75s and the SD70 ACEs, you can definitely tell it notching from one notch to the other in the sound of the engine. For these Gevos, I haven't really quite figured them out. I have to do some research. But you don't have the distinctive sound of the notching, and I don't know if it's just that they are making these locomotives to be quieter or what the situation is on that. But anyway, still cool to have sound, and it's cool to be able to come all the way through here at the Wasatch Summit as we near the end of the main line. So this week I'm going to be working on the helix. I'm not going to start tomorrow. I got to go to the dentist. Not happy about that. Have to get a crown put on. But I'm going to get myself drugged up as much as I can. I hate the dentist, but I'm going to be doing that Monday. But Tuesday I'll be relieved that the dentist is done with, and I'm going to start working on the helix, and hopefully we'll have it done by this next Sunday, and the update that will be coming next week. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great Mother's Day, or had a great Mother's Day, and hope you have a great week coming up. Everybody, take care.